Okay, today is October 10th, 2024. Going over today's price action, trades I took, things that I saw, things that I missed, how I should have traded, what I should have been looking for, what I could have done better. Many things that popped up. I took four trades today, all towards the end of the session, all right here, and I'm gonna go over that trade in a bit and how I could have better managed this trade itself, and also any trades that I was trying to take that I could have did a better job taking. So at the beginning of the market, we had a news event that pushed price down, which is CPI. Drop price down here. This is our settlement price. Price opened down here at the lows. I was looking for a rally up. I forgot that this was a gap area, and I was so fixated in this area here that I forgot all about this settlement price being the gap. I'm not even gonna lie. But as we came down here to this level, I figured that price would probably bounce up because VIX was moving up but heading towards a an area here, a demand zone. But it had broken out of the prior day high, so I was a little bit cautious and wary of it. Not of ES not moving up because VIX had broken above the high from yesterday, but I was still looking for it. I did miss it. I wasn't able to take it because I was looking for price to come down a little lower. But this caught my attention when it appeared. I wanted to go long around here, but couldn't really figure out how to go long there precisely. And NQ didn't give me my buying signal, so I stayed out of this trade because everything I probably would have got stopped out. My stop would have been around here, and I probably would have got caught on the trade out. I wouldn't have been down here where it should have been, um, because it was just a 2-4 of a trade. All right, this is 12. This is almost like 11 points. Yes, to make 22, but I wouldn't want to risk that. 18. What is that? Am I so wrong? I mean, it's 9 points to make 18, but I didn't want to risk 9 points to make 18. I would have want to put my stop loss right underneath this low to try to help price go up. So I let that one go. I didn't see anything there, but this order block here was in sign for potential buying, and buying came, but NQ didn't have that. Then price moved up to here, filled the gap. I forgot, like I said, I forgot this was a gap area that could have been filled because when we reached there at noon, 30 minutes into it, we kicked it back here, and both ES and NQ gave this candle color, this green candle. Oh, let me pull up NQ. ES and NQ gave a rejection um, shooting star candle at that spot there. This is it right here, and it was at the same area for ES, not NQ, but for ES, it was the same area where I was looking to get short from yesterday. So same thing, selling candle, selling volume, green candle, selling volume, green candle, and from there we sold off. And I have the idea that once we get this, we get two red candles come after. Look like we did get two, but price did go a little further than expected, clearing price all the way down to the bottom, given a 25-point move for a 6 point stop. So I could have entered, no, actually a little higher, a little less, because price would have been here for a 4 point stop. So I could have entered this at the close of this candle, but I was so fixated on the 30 minute. 30 minute. I was so fixated on the 5 minute that I missed the 30 minute setting up because I didn't see anything here on the 5 minute that caught my attention. But if I was looking at the 30 minute charts, I would have seen that this happened, and I could have just said, you know what, screw it, go short, stop loss right above, and let it ride because this is 12:30, and I usually say 15 to 30 minutes after we roll over, price typically goes. So I would have been able to enter right here, and price went 5, pulled back, dropped down 12, 14, pulled back, dropped down 19 points. Right, bringing us down to here, um, where buying initiated would have been right around here. So taking the first exit somewhere around here for 11 points, and then looking to take another exit back at this level here for about 20 points, right? Or even down to, is that this? That's this one over here. So once we clear that, yeah, just down to here, because buying doesn't start until this one, all right? So for about 25 points. So I missed this move down. That's my fault. Wasn't able to see it. So I just waited again. I waited towards the end of the day where I finally got this set up. Price dropped down. This was the first idea of the setup, but I saw the buying come in, but I thought that this was just way too high of a price movement. This is about 10 points. So I took this one. I didn't take this one specifically. I took this candle here. I like this candle, but I should have entered at the close of that candle with a 6 points, but I waited for price to come up. Price came back down, and then here. So I entered here, was my first trade at around 1450, 1445 was my first trade. At this buy, I believe. No, said 1445. 1445. I have screenshots. I should have just went to screenshots. I entered. Oh, so I did enter on this close of this candle. I entered here, 1445. Yeah, I entered at that close of that candle, and I ended up getting stopped out when price came back down because I moved my stop loss immediately. So price went 17, 3 points in my favor, stopped me out. Then I entered at 1455, and then from there I felt like I was getting too jittery. I entered there at this candle because I felt it was better, but I knew that this should have been the better spot. This was just a better looking candle, but this whole thing was the entry. I got stopped out. This was a bad trade. Then I entered again at 2 minutes later, right? Because I noticed this candle here, right over here. I noticed that candle, and I said, "Oh, maybe we're going long," because I was looking at this volume and I had a mistake. So I shouldn't have entered that trade at all. That trade should not have been a trade. That trade that actually the one that cost me the most on this third trade. When I entered it, thinking this was the thinking this was this volume, so I confused the volume here. I think it was this one right here. I confused this volume. I think it was the 30-minute, and I thought we were ready to go. So when I entered here at the highs, thinking that it was correct, I was all wrong, and I ended up suffering for that one. And I know I should have exited right away when I had a 5-point risk, because we're just 1 point. But the idea of it working out, the hope of it working out, affected me more than the idea that it's not my setup. So just leave it. If it works out or not, just leave it. So that one cost me 23.75, and then I took my last trade when we got this buying candle right here on both ES and NQ. I think it's this buying candle right here. We had finally broken out of this for NQ. We're inside of it for a while. we finally broke out of it, and I was interested in taking it up when ES was also breaking out of it here. So this was the entry. Just needed to wait just a little bit more. Finally got that entry. I took my exit here when price was struggling to reach VWAP, and we had 10 minutes left on the market. I closed that out at 50. As soon as we had 10 minutes left, I said screw it, close it out, because typically this never works out very well, or price gets very volatile in the last 10 minutes. But price got volatile in my favor. So but I was already out, and I left about 7 points on the table, which would have made up a lot more of what I lost. And then price eventually went to my 3.5 level, which is where I wanted it to go to for my exit. But 15 minutes after the market closed, which would be around here, price would have left me here. I entered at this candle, I believe, right? But I was trying to get this here, this 10-point move, which was good. So I was able to make up the loss with this one. This would have just been a small loss with fees, and then but I did enter a second contract because it made sense. 10 minutes afterwards, so 15:30 and then 15:40, 15:30. So yeah, that was our entry. In the 15:40, I think I saw another buy, and I said, oh, I'm interested in that. So I entered again, and then price moved up. I was hoping price would have really just exploded like it did here, but it just wasn't doing it. NQ was struggling and slacking. But just like the other days where I noticed that ES and NQ gave me my setups, I should have just waited on them to work out. If I had taken this trade here the first time on just one contract, I would have made 10 points and would have just made up the entire day with just that one. And just let it right out to the to this here, 13 points. Risking the 6 points, I would have been fine. Risking $30 to make what was that, 30, 60, about $70, and just that. But I was too chicken out of the trade too quickly. I was too hesitant. I didn't let the trade play out. I knew I had nothing stopping me except for when we got to this area, really, because this is just an area of consolidation and drop. There's no selling there, but there was nothing really there to stop me, and I knew that price had a big chance of going up to here to where price sold off, which was here is the only selling point. So, but like I said, I chickened out of that trade, and it cost me the more profits I could have had, and I ended up just breaking even for the entire day, but I would take it. But one thing I did do well was that I waited. I stayed patient. I wasn't just hopping in and out of all of the trade setups, but towards the end I was spending too much time in my last idea that it was costing me a bit more than it should. And also, other thing I noticed, that midday drop that we had here yesterday was the area where price bounced off of right here. So we sold into it, bounced, sold into it, bounced, and then it gave me that volume. I could have used that area for my entry, and really just rode that one out because it set up very nicely. So that's it for me for today. Be back tomorrow for my setups and my levels. Looking to see if I can catch these here more often, and also being more patient with myself where I see that ES and NQ matches up.